All right, so daily chart. We found buyers below yesterday's low, and the bulls are trying to get. They got an outside bar. We have consecutive bull bars here. Buyers below, bulls trying to get a second leg up. I think this is all about testing up to the June 15th high. And at the moment, the odds are we're probably going to end up getting there. Ultimately, we'll probably get up to 7,700 and the all-time high as well. On the open, we ended up gapping up and then forming a bear bar. It was a strong enough bear bar. Was it reasonable to expect a second leg down? It might have been, but I think one of the problems for the bears is that we had a gap up on the open as well. So we have big up, big down, big confusion. That increases the risk that we end up going more sideways and we find buyers below. Outside up on bar 2, it's a strong enough bull bar. It's good for the bulls, increases the odds that we'll probably get at least a small second leg up. And then 3, we have a bull bar, probably buyers below 3 and a second leg up. 4, bear bar, probably buyers below. You can see 5 and 6, we started to go sideways. Without buying, well, you can be long, but tight trading range. And I still think we may end up going sideways. We might have to test back down in the bottom third of bar 1 or bar 2. And then 7, bear bar, good for the bears. We may go a little bit lower, probably buyers below. 8, doji, not that great of a follow through bar, probably buyers below, but consecutive bear bars, there might be sellers above, and we get a second leg down. 9, bull bar, good for the bulls, increases the odds that would go at least a little bit higher. Bull bar, 9, good for the bulls. What about buying above it? And you can, but we may end up falling below bar 2, so it's not that great of a buy. And then 10, we got a second leg down after 7 and 8. That's good for the bears, but I think probably buyers in this general location. Then doji, 11, looks like we're going to be more sideways. And then 12, a bull bar, probably strong enough rally on the open that we'll probably at least get a small second leg up. Plus, we had that strong rally here, and it's reasonable to think that we'll probably test the upper third of the bar. And then we got the surprise breakout on 13. 13, large enough bar and a climactic bar that the odds are will probably pull back. And then doji, probably buyers below the 14 low. And then went outside down on 15. 15, good for the bears, but context is not ideal. It's a 4-bar bull micro channel, and the breakout on bar 13 was strong enough that the odds favor some kind of second leg. And then 16, follow through for the bears, but I still think probably buyers not far below. And then 17, outside up. That is, it's a strong enough bar that I suspect will probably go at least a little bit higher. And then 18, and then 18, I suspect buyers below. And therefore, as far as selling 18, I would not. I think we'll probably get at least some kind of second leg. 19, outside up, good for the bulls, but I suspect the upside is probably limited at this point, and there might be sellers around the 19 high. Then we got follow through on 20. Consecutive bull bars, tail 19, tail 20, probably sellers in the upper third, and we may end up just going mostly sideways here. Strong enough rally, I think whatever reversal down we get, it will probably be minor. 21, bear bar, but not a great sell, probably buyers below. 22, follow through, good for the bears. It's a strong enough reversal and follow through that there might be sellers above, but I still think we'll probably get up to the 13 high. High one by 23. But following the consecutive bear bars, there might be more traders selling above it or selling above the 21 high. 24, follow through bar. Probably going to get at least a small second leg up after 23, but probably not going a lot higher. And then went outside down 25. Strong enough bar. We'll probably go at least a little bit lower. Good for the bears. And then we got a pause on 26. Probably sellers above and a second leg down. 27. That's a small second leg down after 25. And you can see buyers probably going to bounce. But with 3 consecutive bear bars, there's probably going to be sellers not far above the 21 high. Then we got the doji, 22. It's a low one short after the 3-bar micro channel. Probably buyers below, scaling in lower. but buyers may not come in until somewhere around bar 17. And then bear bar, good for the bears, we may go a little bit lower, pause on 30, but probably sellers above and at least a small second leg down. 31, a second leg down at 29. Now we're getting parabolic, 1 push down, 2 pushes down, 3 pushes down. And that makes me think the downside is probably going to be limited. Then we got a bull bar on 32. Not that great of a buy signal bar. Increase the risk of sellers above. 33 consecutive bars. 31, 32. Makes me think the upside. It makes me think the downside's probably limited and we'll probably get a bounce. Doji, bear bar 34, probably buyers below, and another doji. Looks like the downside's probably limited. And then we got the surprise 36. Strong enough bar makes me think we'll probably go at least a little bit higher. And then we got follow through 37, 38. Probably the first reversal down. It's going to be minor. And then more follow through 39, probably buyers below. And then we went outside. We found buyers below 39 on 40. That's good for the bulls. And then we got the doji on 41, high one buy. There might be sellers above initially, but I still think there's more buyers. And we'll probably have to test up to the 23 high. And you can see that's what happened over the next several bars. We ended up getting a second entry buy with 45, but the channel up is so tight. You get out below 45, you probably buy again above a bull bar. And we formed the high one buy 46. And realistically, there's probably going to be more traders buying above it rather than selling, so not a good sell. We got another upside breakout, but a possible bull breakout of the channel. And we're getting a little bit late, so instead of buying closes, traders might buy pullbacks. I still think traders buying here and scaling in will make money. Doji 48, probably a small second leg up after 47, but the upside might be limited. And then bear bar 49, closing on its low. I still think probably buyers not far below. Bull bar 50. There might be sellers above. It's a small signal bar. And we may get a small second leg down, but probably buyers not far below. 51, bear bar, low one short, probably buyers. And then doji 52. Looks like we may go more sideways here. I still think we may try and bounce and get up to the 13 high. And then bull bar 53. Good for the bulls, may try and go a little bit higher. And then we tried to continue the channel, but we started getting dojis, small bull bars, and then out overlapping bars, contracting bars. This is basically a parabolic wedge, and it's nested with 3 legs, 1, 2, 3. And at any point, we can get a reversal down. Doji 58. What are the chances we reverse down? Probably going to be buyers not far below. Even if we do reverse down, we'll probably have to go sideways. And you can see that's basically what happened for the rest of the day. We formed a wedge top with bar 59. We went sideways to down. We tried to break the downside on 63. And then the bulls tried to reverse up. They tried on 65. And we went sideways. They tried to get a second entry on 69. I thought they had a reasonable chance on 69. And then we got the upside breakout 71. But then the bears reversed down on 72. And instead of breaking out below the triangle 73, they failed and the market went back up. And then we just went sideways for the rest of the day. Generally, on around bar 72, if you don't get a breakout up or down in the start of a swing relatively around bar 72 or by bar 72, you typically go sideways for the rest of the session. And this is an example of that. Stop orders. I thought the first credible stop order buy. It's really not easy. Maybe I thought 817 was probably okay. Strong enough breakout, pullback, decent buy signal bar, probably going to get a second leg. And then 25, probably an okay sell, even though it's right at the moving average, for at least a small second leg down. 3 pushes up, 1, 2, and 3. So reasonable to think you may test down here. And then I thought it was okay buy above 36. And if you do buy, maybe you get out below 45. But if you do, you buy again above 46. If you buy above 46, maybe you probably get out below 49. And I think it's really tough to buy in here. And if you are long, you probably get out below 59. And for the bears, I think it's tough to sell when the channel up is this tight. And then bears, if they do sell, they probably get out above 65 or definitely 69. Bulls can buy, but if they do, they get out below 72. And if bears sell, now I think once you see the bad follow through 73 and doji 74, you just get out and take the small loss. For limit orders, I thought probably buyers in the bottom third of bar 2. It's a relatively big bull bar. Probably buyers in the midpoint, in the middle to bottom third of the bar, willing to scale in lower. And I thought buyers below 14, but probably buyers closer to the moving average. I thought, maybe sellers above, but I'd rather see the test of bar 11 or bar 13 up here. Probably sellers above 27, released a second leg down. I thought buyers below 30, anywhere down here, betting on a test of the bar 28 low. And I thought buyers below 39 for a bounce. I thought probably buyers below bars for a bounce here. And then it's pretty much it for limit orders. The range just got too tight. Buy the close, sell the close. The only really good buy the close, sell the close was probably 37, 38. It's a bull breakout of the moving average. That made sense, betting on a second leg up. And that's probably it for traditional buy the close, sell the close. Otherwise, it's better to wait for the pullback. Don't buy the close at 13, wait for the pullback, and buy with a limit order at the moving average for a second leg up. But really, not easy to do real time. One said, do you journal your trades? And if so, do you use any sort, do you use a PPS to journal and keep track of them? I'm not sure what PPS is, but I think it's really important to, journal trades. I think you have to study. You can journal it. There's many ways to go about it, but I think it's really important to be aware of the things you're doing well and the things you're doing bad, and really think through how you can, in other words, kind of audit your performance. And the only way you can audit your performance is to really have some sort of baseline process that you follow. If you have no idea the type of, trading plan or system, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to follow, you really can't journal what you're doing. You're just kind of driving blind. I think it's very important, at a minimum, I would keep track of largest losing trades and figure out what are the patterns behind those trades. I would keep track of, how often I scale in, or, do I end up sizing up too aggressively at times? I would track things such as what types of trades am I taking, or even, my trade, how often do I trade against the trends? How often do I fade breakouts versus how often do I trade in the direction of the move? I think those kind of things can be really, really helpful. Someone asked about the significance of the 5 equal lows. Yeah, you could argue it's a ledge. We may have to retest it, but I don't give wedges. I don't really personally pay that much attention to wedges or ledges, not wedges. Why would there be more buyers at the 41 low? Well, I don't know why. I don't know if I mentioned 41 is an inside bar and it's a high one. So I thought 41 had the risk of finding sellers above, but quickly finding buyers near the low of the bar or below the bar, because the rally up to 39 was strong enough for a second leg. Every once in a while, there's a huge bar with a long wick, and also comparably smaller bar with a long wick. For huge bars, mostly we can see the wick being formed. You once showed it on a 15-second chart, or the smaller bars, they seem to form for a split second. Why do they happen, and what does this mean? They seem to pull back shortly after they form. Does that indicate something? Yeah, I think what you're asking is, why do bars like bar 13 happen? And they're buy and sell vacuums, testing support and resistance. If you think about it, when a move happens too fast, it'll usually hesitate and attempt to reverse. That happens all the time in trading ranges. There's just some bars are just more dramatic than other bars. And for example, we had this really dramatic bar here, and typically what happens after when you get it is the market ends up going sideways. And back to today, we had a dramatic bar 27 is a climactic bar, and what happened? It pulled back intra-bar, climactic bar 31, and it's just probing support and resistance. The most dangerous kind of if you're a trend trader, you want to see this kind of behavior. You want to see bull bar 36, another bull bar 37, another bull bar 38. You want to see controlled buying with micro gaps, and you want the bars to not be too big, because that usually leads to higher prices. And that's because nobody is going to fade the breakout. When you get bigger climactic bars, traders fade the breakouts. A big climactic bar, traders will sell, betting on a pullback, or they'll sell and scale in higher, or they'll simply scale in higher. Climactic bars also lead to profit taking. If you're a bull and you're betting on higher prices and you see a really big bar like this, you're going to be more tempted to sell out of your longs because it's unsustainable behavior. Climactic behavior by definition is unsustainable, and therefore most of the time it ends up pulling back. Where do we go tomorrow? I think overall we're going to get up to the June 15th high over the next several days or weeks, and then we'll probably reach the all-time high as well. So we have a possible double top here. I think we have to test closer to it, and ultimately I suspect it's probably going to fail, and we'll probably go to 7,700 in the all-time high, but we'll see. As far as tomorrow goes, probably more disappointing and more disappointment and overlapping bars. All right. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day.